This was a German punishment for deserters. My foot was chained. The other end of the shackle was nailed into a rock. My teammates left me with only a few bullets and a little food, and my job was to stop the Soviet soldiers. After that, everyone else left, leaving me alone here. I watched them with my sniper rifle, but they had already hidden in the thick forest. Now I needed to get rid of the shackle immediately, in despair. I raised my sniper rifle and pulled the trigger. A wave of pain shot through my entire body. I couldn't help but scream. But the chain was too thick, I couldn't break it. So I searched through my backpack, and finally found a pair of glasses. Then I came up with an idea. I carefully removed the lenses, then snapped a pine twig in half, scraped off the resin with my knife, put it in my mouth to soften it, then stuck it onto the edge of the lens. Next I inserted another twig, and poured some water into the gap. I used this method to make a simple magnifying glass. Then I placed dry moss on the metal spike, and used the lens to focus sunlight. Soon the moss caught fire. I quickly gathered dry branches, making the fire burn hotter. Once the branches burned out, I poured cold water on the rock. The sudden temperature change cracked the stone. I tried to pull out the nail, but it still wouldn't move. I didn't give up. I repeated the process again. The hole in the rock grew larger. After a few more tries, I was finally able to pull the nail out. Around noon, I was sitting by the rock eating canned food, when I suddenly heard an engine in the distance. I picked up my sniper rifle to check. I saw a Soviet vehicle passing by. Luckily, they didn't see me, but I knew I had to act fast. The bad news was my branches were almost gone. If I didn't escape soon, I might freeze to death in this brutal winter, even if the Soviets never found me. My food was almost gone, and I only had one last cup of water. This was my final chance. I took out all my bullets, poured the gunpowder into a metal can, then poured it into the hole in the rock, covered it with a stone, and threw it into the burning moss. The exploding gunpowder released white smoke. I quickly got up to check, but the nail still hadn't moved. Frustration and anger overwhelmed me. I grabbed a stone and slammed it against the nail, from morning until night, until my final attempt. The nail finally started to loosen. I made one last push, and finally pulled the nail out. I was free.